I'm just getting hammered privately from upper tier subscribers that are asking me, "What about Doge? What about Doge? What about it?" It isn't doing squat. So to go back and to re-explain, and I think I got a beat on exactly what's going on. I'll just give you my opinion. It doesn't necessarily mean it's gospel, but just my understanding of the bigger picture, I think I understand what's going on here. So to go back and look and remember what I told you, I've been pretty faithful, but you've seen things play out pretty well on my initial forecast for uh, X.com, Twitter. It'll forever be called Twitter in my mind. For Twitter becoming a crypto certified, licensed, yada yada, whatever. Things were progressing, and then all of a sudden it just hit this stall. Now they should have been rolling this out by now, wouldn't you think? I certainly wouldn't. That's why I said. So here's what I think the hitch that happened. The SEC has recently declared that they're going to start bringing down the hammer on everything, and it's my contention that I think that basically the guys in the boardroom probably said, why don't we wait and see, how the temperature. Let's watch and check the temperature on this and see what they're going to do before we do what we're going to do. So it's my contention that I think that they were going to launch probably right about now on into October. Now, I could be wrong. They could still be doing it, but I would have thought by now you would be seeing more news. Maybe not the actual implementation of it, but you would have been seeing. You notice the news just dried up. They just stopped talking about it. Very rarely, if you're hearing any messaging or any chatter going on about X.com becoming a payment processor, you're not hearing it from them. You're hearing it from people that are still carrying over, conversations from the past. You're not hearing any new press from X. That's very telling. Very, very telling. And so it's my contention that I think they might just be waiting until next year, meaning, probably into the first quarter. I don't know. It's a little far into the crystal ball to be looking right now. So where does that leave us with the dog coin? Well, in the dog house is where it leaves us. And so it's funny. I can show you these predictions and I can show you what the prices are going to do, but then all of a sudden the reasoning shows up to always support it. So, you know, to look at the chart that you're looking at right now, if you were to have this discussion with me 4 months ago or 3 months ago, even 2 months ago, and I would have suggested that this is still an accurate chart and we're going to go down 3.5 cents, you'd be like, but they're going to roll out a payment processor and the Doge people and everything's going to be yippee skippy and it's going to be taken off. Well, now we're seeing that that doesn't appear to be the case. So now, is the chart starting to look a little bit more believable? I would say yes. So here's what I'm telling you, kids. Expect, expect that you're going to see a 3 cent Doge. I really believe that. I believe that we will be down into the green zone. And I cannot be any more clear about my instructions to you guys. It's very rare that I give buy recommendations publicly or even in the group to the lower tier subscribers. But I'll tell you what, I go racing with Crypto Rich every once in a while. And he's like, is it, are we there yet, Dad? No. I've been telling him a nickel, and he's waiting for the nickel. I'm like, well, just keep your money in your pocket, son, because it ain't gonna happen. You might as well just hang on. So let me go back and let's see. I'm rambling here a little bit. Let me go back and reiterate what I'm talking about here, so it's pretty obvious. What I think we're working on here is either a downward triangle or whatever. But if basically where we get the TA from this, let's just go ahead and back this up a little bit. Where we get the TA from this is a triangle will play out with its velocity downward, and that's where we get this. And it takes it right down to the 3.5 or 3.150, right down to the bottom of it. However, I've become very fond over the last year of playing 50% calls with far more certainty, and that puts you pretty much to the top, right here in these two Anubis zones. Right here in the general 4.6 to 4.375, that's a pretty safe buy. But here's what I'm going to tell you. And with wicks going into the green, so here's what I'm going to tell you. If it even sniffs around the front door, or the back door of this green, I want you to start throwing buckets of cash at it because I believe this is basically going to be the floor right here on this, barring any kind of real world wackiness. Now, I wouldn't take this too seriously just yet. 50% of that, by the way, would be the floor right here. So there's always a 50% of something. Your lowest Hail Mary would be this exact number right here, but somewhere probably closer to the upper part of that, right in that general area there, seems to be very certain to me at this point in time. You're just splitting hairs at that point in time. Now, uh, on this chart, you're looking at, let's see here, November, December. Let's get to it. So January. So January is right here where my cursor is. So you got a fairly good amount of time to go ahead and let's strip this out. Get all this spaghetti out of here. There we go. So we've got a bear flag and a small triangle. I mean, it's just I want to speak to this here too because I had mentioned this. I'm sorry, I'm playing catch up a little bit because my microphone's been kind of screwing me over for a while. Uh, can anybody look at this? And I made a comment earlier. Can anybody look at this and doubt that this isn't a manufactured move to go to a certain place? This move is just like this move is just like this move, and so this move here will likely put us down here on the deck, down at about 4.833. Um, and to go ahead and put the spaghetti back there for a second, that's going to be the bottom of that. It's going to be that little small little call right there at the bottom of that channel. So when that happens, it's likely going to be a breakout of that thing, and it will continue to waterfall down into the green area. So, the Doge hopefuls, they're all over Twitter, they're all over Facebook, they're all over social media, still hanging their hat on the fact that any day now we're going to get the payment processor thing. Uh, Guys, I don't think it will be pushed to the front. And the way that I think that this would probably play out is there's probably two or three moves before we even start to have a Doge conversation. There's plenty of time for this thing to go, dig itself a hole and crawl in, a 3 cent hole and crawl in, because we've got to get the actual rolling out of a payment processing thing from X.com, and then we got to figure out X.com's got to figure out, do they feel comfortable with what this sketchy ass 3 letter agency is going to do to the whole crypto thing? Do they even want to get involved in crypto? Because nothing says, if you really stop and think about this for a second, nothing says they have to even be involved in crypto at all. And I know that's probably the only time you've ever heard that, but the God's honest truth is nothing about that bit of news says at all that they need to be involved in crypto, that they want to be involved in crypto. It is pure speculation. And I know that sometimes I say things like that you've never heard anywhere else. But again, I'm viewing this in a far more methodical standpoint and understanding of what's going on than most of these hopeful. There's no hope in anything that I say. I'm just giving you pure facts. If you go back and you read, there has never been, to my knowledge, anything put out saying that yes, we're going to include crypto in our payment processors. Yes, they're filing paperwork, et cetera, et cetera. But you have never, or I have never seen anything other than being a financial processor. It will be money first, crypto second. I assure you of this. I assure you this. And with that being said, with the SEC on its latest warpath to try and slow, stop, stall, control, whatever you want to do, I don't see X.com putting itself in a position to roll out something only to have all their hopes and dreams and stuff kind of crushed. So they're waiting to see which way the wind blows. That's the way big business, that's the way smart business runs. And so that leaves Doge third in line behind all this, plenty of time to get down to these 3.5, 3 cent prices and stuff like that. So sorry to be the bearer of bad news to anybody that thinks that tomorrow is going to be the day, because it's not. 2024 is going to be there's going to be a reckoning in crypto in 2024. A lot of these things are basically just going to be pie in the sky. They're not going to work out. Some of them are going to rise. Very few of them are going to rise. But the crypto washout is coming, guys. Doge will be fine, I believe. But that's basically all I want to kind of get off my chest with this one. Is I don't believe that this one's going to be taken off anytime soon. So hopefully watching, cautiously watching, and waiting. But when it does get down into that green zone, guys, you don't have to wait for me to give you the go ahead. That's basically where I'm telling you that I'm going in, Rich is going in, Jeff's going in, some of the rest of the diamonds are going to be going in. I want everybody to just to know what the game plan is.